we have a very special guest today, Junko. Hey, hey.
Hi everybody.
Hey, hey. So here is to day one, and it will be so awesome to hear your journey before joining the LMA. What made you decide first, Junko? Could you share a little bit about where you were before joining the LMA?
So before joining the LMA, I think I've uh, done a lot of different things like law of attraction, global, what is it? It's called GEN, and it's this global information network. And I have done other things, hypnosis, but I felt stuck still. And I knew, the common denominator to change my life was me. And I saw the teachings of it, but I didn't have a mentor. And I really, really wanted mentor. So I've been digging and digging. And just like that other guy who went to the world class thing with you guys, with the Tim in Thailand, I was following Tim a little bit on YouTube. And yeah, so and then I saw his the class, and I said, okay, you know what? This is something that I really need to look into. So I signed for the class, and I just said, this is what I need to do. Now, sorry, I'm getting emotional because it was just like when I saw that and I took that class, it's like my answer's been, I mean, my desire's been answered. It's like, oh my God. So there's this wonderful people that that can mentor me. And after that, it's just like, I have to do this. And I was hooked. It's like I have somebody, a group of fabulous people, phenomenal people that can guide me through the changes.
Wow, Junko, thank you for such a heartfelt message. And wow, I mean, right now, could you share also, like, you're busy professional, right? And you work a lot,
Right.
and you mentioned that you're busy, but what was the problem that you were experiencing when you were going through the hypnosis, and what problem was really just making you want to go a step further in the first place?
Well, I've always wanted to change my life somehow, and I wanted to change myself for the better. There was, a confrontation at work. So I thought, okay, in order for me to go to a new work, I don't want to take my old me, so I have to change me. So I was struggling with that with hypnosis, and then COVID hit, and I'm a physician associate. So it's like a physician extender. We see about 80% of what they do. So I'm in pulmonary critical care, which means I have to now then intubate these COVID patients. So with a pandemic, it was very difficult. We were trained to save lives, but we couldn't save everybody. And through COVID, I learned so much, and I hope this is making sense, but nobody is left out and they're alone. Everything comes in full circle. And I learned that. And so, and not only that, but I think in our profession, we're getting very upset with people that doesn't follow, the isolation protocols, the masking protocols. So my energy started getting more of survival mode and victim mode, where it's like, why aren't people listening to us? And we have to go in there and risk our lives to expose ourselves to COVID, and especially when we're intubating, we're putting the tube into somebody's lungs from their, we're our face is like right in front of their face.
Wow.
So I needed to sort of emotionally step back from that, and I had to say, so what can I do? What can I change? How can I change? So listening to Tim, and then attending the live sessions and going through with accountability, a partner, and the accountability with Toma was just such a big part of my life. It's like it was my lifeline during well, it is still COVID pandemic, but it died down a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just, and from that, my attitude began to change.
I mean, I could only imagine what it was like when you're facing client face to face, and like you said, you're working with people on a very personal level, aren't you? And the COVID situation made things a lot worse at the time as well, I can
Yeah.
imagine. So how was that at the time impacting your life, and how did you feel?
um I'm sorry, what was the how the what
How
impacted?
yeah, how did that situation at work
Oh,
impact your life, and how did you feel?
um I was upset. I was very angry. So it's a and everybody else is angry. So we're all complaining. We're all trying to survive at its best. We don't have, we're running out of ventilators, we're running out of stuff that we need, and to save lives and our lives as well. And not only that, but when, patients, when they come in, their families are very upset because, their loved ones may be dying. And, we, and then through other people's reactions, I started to see a lot of, oh, that's how they create their future, because that action created this. And I'm beginning to, and then I'm taking it in as I'm, doing the classes with Tim.
Yeah.
I'm taking it in and saying, oh, okay, then I have to watch out how to communicate. And I have to give them space for them to be angry and lash out at us. And, but don't take that personal.
All right. And were you taking that personally back then?
Yes, I think we all were.
Yes, yes.
When you're in survival mode,
Mm.
like, we didn't even have time to sleep, basically. It's just gruesome every day, and yeah, and we just don't have
Working longer
enough.
hours.
I'm sorry.
Were you working longer hours at that
Yes,
point?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So when we don't have, and it's so true that we don't have space in our mind,
Mm.
it's so our decisions may be short-sighted. It may be, different decisions than when we make when we're calm.
Yeah, sure. And wow, that's so interesting because back then you're working, you've got those challenges at work, and you come home, and then somehow you managed to find and create that time to do the hypnosis at the time. But you mentioned that it wasn't working. What
No,
specifically wasn't working for you?
I I don't know. It was just I think my emotions were more powerful than the hypnotic, the therapy that they were trying to do. And it's like it's not working. I'm still depressed. And at the time, I didn't even realize I'm dreaming in my sleep about what to do, about, what the patient's family had said to me. So this started to become a cycle.
Mm.
And every morning I get up dragging my body out of the bed. And it's like, I don't want to go, but I have to go. Get out there. Try to save lives as much as you can.
You are a warrior. So you just dragged yourself in a way, that feeling. And what were you trying to work on when you mentioned you're working on hypnosis, therapy, law of attraction? What were you looking for and how did you want to feel?
I think at that time, I just wanted peace in my heart. That peace that, that I'm doing what's best, what's right. If I can save somebody, that's great. If I can't, then I have to be at peace and try to tell the family members and be present with the family members at the time of their loved ones passing.
Gosh, I could only imagine trying to find peace in those moments when you're having to communicate with people who are grieving, etc. I could only imagine that. And what was your concern at the time if you were to continue in that path, not feeling peace in your heart? What was your biggest concern there?
My concern was I would have been emotionally and soul would be dead. Um, I've seen my friends get COVID. One of them had lung transplant because of that. Um, I've seen so many people just pass, including somebody the pulmonologist that I heard, also he passed away. So I was afraid. So I just, yeah.
Wow. And I'm just so speechless right now because when you're seeing people like you're working with and looking after passing, I could only imagine what that's like.
It's,
Yeah. So,
yeah, I talked to a couple of people that I, that I work with, and they all say, how do we come back from this? How do we come back from this?
yeah. And what put your fears to rest to just give something else a try at the time? Going through this situation.
I didn't give myself a choice. Um, I said, well, you know what? This is what we're trained for, and just keep going. And one day we'll figure something out, but just keep going.
Whoa, resilience.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I didn't have a choice at the time. That's what I think.
Very resilient to just say to
Thank
yourself, I've got
you.
no other choice, keep going. Have you always been resilient?
Um, I think yeah, maybe so, maybe so.
Right. So you use your strength to just put your fears to rest and just give it a try.
And what was really important is that our community in the hospital, uh, we came together. And so, it was the emotional support from the nurses, the doctors, um, the cleaning crew. It didn't matter if they were there, they
Yeah.
were one of us, and we became family.
Wow.
So,
That's
yeah.
really nice. So you're getting that support from other people in the workplace. So that helped you in
Yeah.
a way. That's awesome. And having gone through the LMA experience, and I understand that like it sometimes starts from going back to the past and then you're present and then you look into the future, right? To really
Mhm.
move forwards. But at the time, it does sound like you were in the past and then in the present moment, and now you're already looking at future and okay, what can I do next? What would you say has been the biggest benefit onboard LMA for you to be where you are right now, Junko?
Oh my gosh. I think because at the time I was so lost, and then I was struggling emotionally. I can't thank you enough for Tim and you and Toma, that you actually saved my soul. And sorry, I'm getting so emotional.
Okay.
And from here on out, I mean, the conversation that I have with my patients have changed tremendously. And um, I tell my patients how precious they are, and that they need to start really taking care of themselves, because um, and including, I guess when I'm saying that to my patients, I'm saying that to myself as well, because whatever happens, whatever shows up in the body, um, it's triggered by your actions, your thoughts. So I think it's true that, you know, um, you can change twice. You can change your thoughts, and then you can change your actions, and then your results will change. And it's this LMA, because of what I do, uh, what Tim is saying, it fits perfectly in everybody's life. And I just want everybody to know what they do on a daily basis, even, throwing the trash on the street, pet bottles on the street, it comes full circle back to you. And you may end up drinking that, water, and then you may develop disease. Or if you have some sort of disease, you've been, holding the emotions, and then it was building up as a stress, and then you become it causes heart attack, strokes. And then the decisions that they make in the hospital um, can change the course of their outcome.
So freaking powerful. Every word you just mentioned there, Junko. And you are such an inspiration because you decided to put on that oxygen mask on first before you assist others. And the way you show up to everyone in your workplace and the community is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I
Really,
appreciate
you're
it.
an amazing person.
Thank you. Well, I wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, we really appreciate you. Now, if there was maybe someone who may be in a very similar situation in the place where you used to be in the past, thinking about taking action to do the LMA course, what would be your advice to this person who may be feeling lost?
Um, my this is what I would say. My suggestion would be join, because whatever you can take, you will absorb only what you can take. Your heart can heart can accept, and then just keep going. Repeat, 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 because it's almost like when you read a book, you catch whatever first, and then when you reread the book, the story changes, because you're changing and you're evolving. So this is basic. If we know the basic, and you can build a very solid foundation. If you don't have a solid foundation, things are going to collapse. And what's important to you is you have to recognize yourself and invest in yourself, because you're worth it. And then I usually throw in, if this was my patient, I usually throw in, I saved your life today. You're worth it to me, to believe that.